Well, this is something, and I hope this is helpful, especially to young investors, because this is something I discovered in the last several years. And when I discovered this, it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I wish I had done this earlier. It's not investment books, it's history. I have learned more from reading about history, American world history, in the last few years, and I learned more about investing than I could possibly imagine. And one of my favorite books in this light is John Marshall, one of our earlier Supreme Court justices. He wrote a biography on George Washington. And what I found so fascinating, where the relevance to investing was, George Washington was facing the dominant power in the world. He was undermanned, underfinanced, lost so many battles, and badly, and yet he won the war. So number one, he had discipline. That's the easy part. But one of the interesting things about that I saw was that he knew when to face the enemy and when not to face the enemy. In other words, what I said just a few moments ago about when the returns are available, take on the risk, and when the returns are not available, do not take on the risk. He understood that. Now, to be quite honest, he was quite the bungler early on in his military career, especially during the French and Indian War, and took on unnecessary risks. But George Washington had this ability to face his enemies when it was most opportune to do so, and avoid his enemies when the odds were not in his favor. And it's reading the non-investment books that have the parallels that make it easier to see the investment case. So I highly recommend history. Not just that book, but extensive reading of history.